My bad. Like, the power kind of flickered, which knocked out the internet, so it ruined the stream. So I had to start it over. So, yeah, let's just start it over, okay? I'm skipping the intro. I already did all that shit. Y'all already know what it is. If you don't, then move the fuck around. Get the fuck out of my face. Look, here's the thing. I am an atheist and an anti-theist. I am an atheist and an anti-theist because theists have failed miserably to demonstrate a single shred of their claims. Every single day, we get on here and we give theists an opportunity to make their fucking case. But despite the fact that they have had thousands of years, that they have literally billions of people among them, that they have all the money in the fucking world. I mean, we're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar industry. They have people in every fucking political, financial, executive position across the United States of America, and despite this fact, not a single Christian, not one single Christian can demonstrate any of their sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit. It is absolutely disgusting to me that so many people are so willing to buy into the greatest, oldest, longest running sci-fi fantasy, multi-level marketing, rape culture scam in American history and human history. In world history, because these are isolated incidents. I mean, none of what I say is inaccurate. Like, not one single Christian can show us the exact current whereabouts of their supernatural, super intelligent, super thing. Whatever it is that they claim is so wonderful, that they claim created everything. It is ironic now the single one of them can produce a shred of evidence that this thing actually exists in real life. That's one of the reasons why we do lives. Because, see, over the internet and in person, people try to say all kinds of ridiculous ass bullshit. But now that we're all interconnected via the internet and social media, now it's time for you theists to put up or shut the fuck up forever. Because what the hell is the point of Christianity? What exactly do y'all actually accomplish? What are y'all goals? What are y'all aims? Because it doesn't seem like y'all goals are to improve the state of humanity, to understand the nature of reality, to improve our collective quality of life. Because if it were, then why do y'all fucking fail miserably at doing this? In fact, why are y'all the quintessential reason as to why our quality of life is horrible and suboptimal? Why is it that not only do so many people get harmed among y'all, but that they get harmed the most among y'all? That's why I am so opposed to theism. It is simply not true. Period. It's not true. It's not true. Not one theist, one time, can show us that the supernatural, super intelligent, super thing exists anywhere, and that it does anything, that it helps anyone, that it accomplishes anything. Every single time we give these loonies an opportunity to demonstrate any of that stuff to us in real life right now, they fail. Look, it is July 1st, 2026. It is 4:42 p.m. Central Standard Time. And despite this fact, not one theist one time can show us the current whereabouts of their super intelligent super thing. The super triune trinity triumvirate triforce thing. Whatever the fuck they claim it is, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, whatever all that stuff is, where is it? Where the fuck is it right now, this second? Like I said, it's 4:42 p.m. Why can't a single theist show us any of this stuff right now? I'll tell you why. Because it's not there! It does not exist. If it existed, I would be glad to be able to say I'm wrong. I would be glad. I would be happy to, you know what, y'all was right the whole time. Y'all were all right. Y'all were all correct. Y'all were all accurate this entire time. I was wrong. I am wrong. I will choose no longer to be wrong because y'all have demonstrated that the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is real and that he actually does do stuff. He does actually help stuff. He does actually help invent and innovate and create. No, y'all don't do shit. Y'all don't do shit. Theists don't do shit. Theism doesn't do shit. I've never seen a theist pray anything into existence. I've never seen a theist use their faith to move a goddamn thing, a mountain, a bullet, a motherfucking cloud formation. I've never seen them do anything at all. with their faith stuff that they love to act like it's such value for some weird ass reason. That because they believe the sci-fi fantasy fairy tale, that means that they get to ignore the rules of reality, that they get to ignore the laws of physics, because hey, the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ supposedly told them that they don't have to worry about anything, because everything's super duper awesome. That's nihilism, and that's delusional, because at the end of the day, reality is still real. People are really still out here suffering. People are still really out here struggling to survive. And these sci-fi fantasy loonies don't seem to give a fuck at all. They just give their useless thoughts and prayers. They do this thing where they do the like cross thing. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to do. I don't know what the hell they think they're doing with that shit, but it does nothing. I talked the other day about the former NFL player Chris Johnson, who was recently diagnosed with ALS. And it progressed so rapidly that he can't even fucking do anything. He can't move. He can't talk. He literally is just sitting there as a shell, like a soul trapped in the body. It's literally unfucking real. Okay? Like Ghost in the Machine, basically. And then so many people in the comments are, oh, my prayers up, prayers up, prayers up, prayers up. Oh, I'm giving my thoughts and prayers. Oh, giving my prayers, giving up my prayers. I'm giving up prayers, prayers, prayers. What the fuck is that supposed to do? What the hell is prayer supposed to fucking do? Remember that last pope that y'all had? Remember that guy, what was his name, Pope Francis or some shit? Remember when millions of people were praying for him? And then he fucking died? So what the fuck was the point of that prayer shit? What does it do? Like, and what's so crazy to me is that I'll get these theists that will come at me and be like, well, have you ever tried it? Have you ever tried to pray? Why don't you just pray right now? And it's absolutely disgusting to me, because this is how strongly people choose to cling to their delusions, that they will fight tooth and nail to protect it despite the obvious reality in front of our faces. That your prayers don't mean nothing. Your faith means nothing. In fact, faith is stupidity, and in my opinion, faith is evil. As far as I'm concerned, faith, willful ignorance, gross negligence, they're no different from intentional malice, because the end result is still the same: people getting harmed. So I don't like it when people try to differentiate. Well, he didn't mean to. She didn't really mean to do it. She wasn't. Fuck all that. Recklessness is evil. Because to me, recklessness is a wanton fucking disregard for human life. Which is just as evil as just being malicious. If I go into a club with a bunch of people around it, and I just grab, I pull out let's just say a pew. I pull out a pew, and I just start waving around, just pulling the trigger, just randomly. I might not mean to actually hit anybody, but how could I be surprised if somebody got hit and got hurt? You know what the fuck those pews do? Can't nobody sit here unless they have some severe psychological disorder, which a lot of people do, by the way. But even then, everybody knows what the fuck guns do. Everyone does. That's why you are supposed to handle them with care and caution. So when you don't, what's the difference between that and being malicious? Choosing to act like a jackass with a dangerous weapon, with a dangerous object, a dangerous tool. That's why I say I don't differentiate between malice and recklessness or negligence or willful ignorance or just faith, because they're all ridiculous. We live in the information age, so why would you choose not to know shit? Why would you have kids and instill in them just believing without verifying. Like, why would you do that? You're setting them up for failure. Why would you do that? Why would you mislead them with ridiculous fucking advice and misinformation like that? You might not have meant to do it, but I don't care. You're doing harm to your kids. Teaching them this ridiculous bullshit. That's why so many people get harmed. That's why so many fucking kids get harmed. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. That's not hyperbole. That's not an exaggeration. That's not me fucking blowing smoke. I just covered a story 2 days ago about how San Francisco had the San Francisco Archdiocese is paying $400 million for guess what? I'd love for you to venture a guess as to what they have to spend $400 million for. I'll give you a hint. It's not for the latest, greatest space telescope. It's not investing in the newest cure for cancer. It's the same thing they always get caught for and have to pay fines for. The same shit. Raping children. And the thing that's so disgusting to me, and I was talking to my cousin about this earlier this morning, and I was talking about it on my live yesterday, the mere fact that, like, all of the major news networks covered the story, but zero of them publicized the story at all. None of them talked about it on any of their network shows. I'm telling you, they don't talk about this shit. On the main page on their websites, zero of them even have a mention of this shit. You gotta search for these things on their website, and if you don't know what to search for, you're not gonna fucking find it. You're not gonna know about it. And this is why so many people don't know shit, because unless you are like me, that you keep yourself up to date with these things, you just aren't gonna know. These things don't get publicized. The mainstream media intentionally buries these stories. They do their due diligence and cover the stories, so you can't say, well, they didn't cover it. They're like, no, we covered it. We all covered it. All the major news. And this is the disingenuousness of media. You can't say they didn't cover it. They will cover it. They just won't show you that they covered it. Like, so it's like it didn't happen. And that's why, what do you know, a media network like this one would suppress me. When I was on TikTok exposing this shit, they literally said I was misinforming y'all. This is how far social media goes to suppress this information. See, when it's like a celebrity or something, oh, they'll talk about it all day. The other day, I seen a story about Harvey Weinstein. They'll talk about him and the rape he did, but they don't want to talk about the rapes that Pastor Johnson and priest Beelzebub and fucking rabbi this and cardinal that and bishop this and deacon that, teacher this and coach that. All of a sudden, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want nobody to talk. They don't want me talking about it. And they definitely don't want me showing you the ridiculous preposterousness and the evil of theism. How it's wrapped its tentacles on every facet of society. How it has literally blinded everybody. People think that the Matrix is a computer program. No, the Matrix is religion. It's literally religion. It has blinded everybody. I'm talking about 2/3 of America, some form of Christian. We're not even talking about any other brands of Delulu that they subscribe to. Right? But Christianity is the biggest one here in America. Zero of them, I mean zero of them can show us that there is a Jesus. But what's so preposterous is they don't care. They don't care at all about whether or not Jesus is actually real. They want to believe that he's real. Their emotions matter more than the facts, the data, the information, statistics. Because if they cared about facts, data, information, statistics, they would see that they and their children are the ones being harmed the most. And they're harming everybody else as a result. And they refuse to acknowledge this. They absolutely refuse to acknowledge this to such a degree that they have people in every single tactical position they can to help create this network of rape, of fucking abuse, of trafficking, where they suppress all the fucking information as much as possible, demonstrating that they are worse than the people they claim they're so against. They're worse. See, it's one thing we have a criminal that's a criminal, because, hey, he's a fucking criminal. I'm not saying you should like a criminal at all. Criminal is a criminal. But what's so crazy is that you have these loonies that claim they are the super duper. They are the ultimate supernatural super duper. But not only do they have nothing, but they're constantly harming people in their communities, in their facilities, their own members, their own subordinates, adults, women, children. And they don't seem to care. You know, I'm going to get into it more, but it just literally bothers me that this organization, these Christian organizations are allowed to continually operate despite being the greatest scam of all time. All they do is extract resources from our communities so that they can hoard it. And my whole thing is, I wouldn't even be so opposed to them if they were actually doing good for society. But what good do they actually provide for society? What do they actually do that's so great that it warrants their continual existence? Because I don't get it. So that's why I wanted to talk about this story, about the breakaway Catholic bishops mounting rebellion against the Pope. Because to me, honestly, it highlights the exact problem of Christianity and theism as a whole. Because, see, they like to claim that they have this direct spiritual connection to some supernatural entity. Honestly, I don't know what supernature is. They don't have a clear clue as to what supernature is. They can't demonstrate that there is a such thing as a supernature at all. And they can't show us how they can actually determine it, how they can measure it, what method they can utilize, what tool they can utilize to detect this whatever thing that they're talking about. They have nothing. They literally have nothing. Not a one. And yet, they get so much protection. They get so much deference in so many different ways. Like, and I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's surreal. It's literally some Black Mirror, Twilight Zone ass shit. That you can have these loonies that don't do shit. They never demonstrate shit. They just talk loud like this. They just say a bunch of stuff. They read the same old crap from the same old book. And then they act like talking like this somehow makes them what they say is true. Can I get an amen? They think that if they talk with a cadence like this, that somehow it makes them better than every fucking body in the world. And therefore, that means that they are so wonderful and so amazing and that everything they say is super duper true. But whenever you press them and actually say, hey, where the fuck is that shit that you're talking about? All of a sudden they back it down. All of a sudden now this hate speech and hateful behavior. Now all of a sudden they're acting like, oh, I'm so mean and so rude. And how could I possibly ask them? How dare I ask them to actually demonstrate the crap that they always talk about all the fucking time? And this is why I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. What do they do? How do they help the world? In what way do they help the world? How do they help the world in ways that couldn't be done by any other fucking group by purely secular means? Because they have yet to demonstrate it. And so when they claim that they have this direct connection to the super intelligence, if there was actually a super intelligence, why would it play these fucking games? Why would it only talk to like a few people? And then why would it tell all these different people all this different shit? And why would they always be infighting? It's like, imagine, right? I start a company, right? And I got these two guys. I got this one guy, and let's just say I got a woman. I got a guy, a man and a woman. A man and a trans woman. Here, let's do it like that. I got a man and a trans woman. Now I'm telling the man, hey, you're the VP of operations. But then I tell the trans woman, hey, you're the VP of operations. And now they both fighting because I told both of them that they was the VP of operations. Or at least they think that that's what I told them. But then I decide to go on vacation and turn off my fucking phone. So now they want to try to reach me to figure out, hey, who should be the VP of operations? And I'm just like, nah, I can't. I'm too bothered. Can't be bothered. I'm too busy. I can't be bothered by y'all fucking little quarrels. And then I'm never found again. I'm never to be seen again. So now they're just left to try to figure it out. Now there's the schism. Yeah, they would call that Islam, because that's literally what happened with Islam. That's literally what fucking happened with Islam. And that's basically every form of theism. That's why you have these different groups, these schisms, these infighting, these internal conflicts. Because at the end of the day, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. None of that shit ever happened. None of it. There is no supernatural thing in the first place. That's the whole point. If there was a thing and it was really truly omniscient, it would know that if it told him and her the same shit, but that was different. I tell them different things. I tell him he is the VP, but I also tell her that she is the VP without distinguishing who should be VP. I could have said, hey, you're the president and you're the vice president, and then everything could have been smooth. But no, I'm telling them completely different things. And instead of like making myself available to resolve the conflict, I just let the conflict stew and foster forever. I literally never come back. Why? What would be the point of that? What would be the point? But more importantly, why would I do that in the first place? If I was really intelligent and I'm trying to create a ship that works smoothly, I'm trying to create an operation that works smoothly, why wouldn't I be clear with both of y'all? Hey, you're good. First of all, I would get you together. I would have you together. I'd be recording so that we're all on the same page so that nobody can say he said, she said. I'd be like, yo, this is what we gonna do. You're gonna be VP. You're gonna be the fucking president. And I'm the CEO. We're gonna get it in writing. We're all gonna agree, and we're gonna fucking make sure this is documented so that nobody can be confused about what we do at all. In fact, I'm gonna map it all out. I'm gonna give y'all documents detailing how you're to do your jobs and your tasks. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure you get the best possible training you could get so that you have no you have no misunderstanding of what to do. You can be completely clear about what your tasks are, what your role is, and so there's no conflict of any kind. Right? If I was super intelligent, if I was truly super intelligent, why would I intentionally pit y'all against each other? Unless I was just some kind of a malevolent jackass, in which case, hey, maybe this super thing really is that. But then why would it be worthy of worship? So anywho, let's just get back to the story. So it says, a breakaway faction of rebel Catholics is poised to consecrate 4 of its bishops in a dramatic break from the Vatican. The Society of St. Pius X, which is at odds with the Holy See, will converge on the Swiss town of Icone for a live-streamed event on Wednesday. The rogue consecration is expected to result in the bishop's immediate excommunication. A conservative French bishop, founded the society in Icone in 1970. The deeply conservative rebel group has been at loggerheads with the Vatican for decades. It trenchantly opposes the liberal reforms introduced by the Second Vatican Council in the 1960s. So this is what I'm talking about. How do things like this happen? If the Lord is real and so true, how I don't get it. First of all, why would they need liberal reforms if the Lord is real? Either the Lord is liberal or not. Why would the Lord be changing his mind? Why would the Lord need to evolve if it's already super evolved at the fucking top? And why would it create a society where you would have completely different views from completely different subgroups? In fact, why would there even be subgroups? Why wouldn't it just be one large group where they all agree on the same thing? Why would you make a ideology where people could even be remotely confused and at odds over the fucking lore? Why would we be at odds over the lore? If the lore is one singular cohesive story, how could anybody misinterpret what's happening? And how could there become a large enough schism to where groups are literally at odds? Like, this is literally how the Protestant Reformation occurred in the first place. And it's so ironic to me because Protestants don't even know that they're Protestants. Protestants don't even realize how Protestantism came to be. And they don't realize that it makes them look preposterous, just as preposterous as these fucking goofies, because it's the whole point. The Protestants broke away from the Catholics, right, with Martin Luther posting that fucking letter on the fucking wall, basically saying, hey, I disagree with this pay-for-play bullshit that y'all got going on. But the irony is that, fam, this whole thing is bullshit, dude. The whole thing is bullshit. It was pay to play from the beginning, dude. This shit is not real, bruh. It is a scam. It's always been a scam. All you did was make it look nice. You just rebranded the scam. That's basically what the Protestant Reformation was. And that's what this is. A fucking rebranding of the same old scam. Mind you, none of any of these fucking groups or subgroups can demonstrate any of the crap that they're selling. That's why it's fucking bullshit. That's why they have to work so fucking hard to suppress somebody like me, because little old me with no resources, living in his mom's basement, is able to expose their crap so easily. They literally ran me off of TikTok because I was building a following so fucking quickly, demonstrating the ridiculousness and the preposterousness of theism, their rapey behavior, and how they don't know what the hell they're talking about. How even their core claim is nowhere to be found. The fact that they're, or I should say the claim, because it's not a fact. The claim that there's some supernatural, super intelligent, super thing somewhere out there somewhere. None. I repeat, 0.0000000000000 to infinity of Christians, of theists, of any kind, can demonstrate their deity thing that they claim is so real and so true and that created supposedly everything. None of them can demonstrate it. And they think that they can argue by appealing to emotion or fucking personal incredulity. Well, how else could it have happened? It couldn't have created itself. Which is ironic because they talk like they're trying to actually study the shit. Like they're actually like studying astrophysics and cosmology, and they're doing the science to understand how the universe came to be. For all we know, it did create itself. But how the fuck would you know? You ain't even trying to figure it out. You're so delusional and narcissistic, you think you already have it figured out. But at the same time, because you're a narcissist, you can't be bothered with actually demonstrating that you know what you're talking about. Because narcissists who know that they don't know what they're talking about, they're not going to fucking at least they usually don't put themselves in situations where they'll be embarrassed by somebody like me who puts you to the test. Because all they got to do is say, okay, show me right now. Where's that thing at right now? Show us. So the story goes on. The society clings to the old-style Latin Mass rather than having it read out in modern vernacular. The acrimonious rift will come to a head when priests, bishops, and thousands of followers descend on Icone for what promises to be a slickly organized gathering. It's an earthquake for the church, but not a surprise. It was predictable. Yo. Yo, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Let me just get through this last little sentence. Everyone knew they never had any intention of changing their views on the Second Vatican Council, which they regard as heresy. It solidifies a rupture that began decades ago. So, I just don't understand. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean that there's a rupture that began decades ago? Hey, where's the Lord? Does anybody know where the Lord is? Hey, Jesus! 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 Jesus, where you at, buddy? We got some of your people here having to fight. They need some reconciliation. It'd be really nice if you could clear this up for your own people. Isn't that funny? Jesus is nowhere to be found. But then I'll be looked at like I'm so horrible for mocking them. They don't realize that they mock them fucking selves. They mock you theists mock yourselves. You make yourselves look insane when you assert that there's a super duper thing and you fail 100% of the time to produce this thing, to show us this thing, to show us that this thing actually exists. Because I don't understand it. Oh, I love this sentence. Look at this. This is the very next sentence. The event reads more like a corporate convention than a revolt against the Pope, the leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. It has its own dedicated website which advises participants that they can choose from a wide range of accommodation options, from homestays to hotels, and informs them that meals can be prepaid with festival-style wristbands. For those who are keen to take away a memory of the event, there is a 75 Swiss franc gift box of 4 bottles of wine. Wait, wine? Anyway. One for each of the rebel bishops who will be consecrated. The bottles of Syrah and Pinot Noir are decorated with emblems of a bishop's authority, a ring, a cross, a crozier, and a pointed white mitre hat. Beyond the event's business-like appearance, the consecration of the 4 bishops is a direct challenge to the authority of Pope Leo XIV, because Catholic doctrine says such an act is his prerogative. In the last-ditch attempt to avert the rift, Leo published an open letter on Tuesday in which he implored the society not to consecrate the new bishops. See, isn't this crazy? Why the fuck the Pope gotta write so many weak-ass fucking letters? Don't you have the Lord? Why don't you fucking just go to the Lord and have the Lord sort this out? I don't understand it. Why can't you just get to the Lord? Why can't you just talk to the Lord and have him sort it out for y'all? Don't you have the Lord? Isn't that what y'all say? Why is it you writing a letter? Writing a letter for what? Why don't you consult the Lord? Get the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit on the spiritual fucking hotline and talk to these fucks and be like, hey, the Lord saith and the Lord taketh and the Lord giveth. And the Lord can be like, I approve. The Pope, what the Pope said, that's law, G. So if you don't fuck with the Pope, you don't fuck with me. I'm the Lord. I'm the Savior. I'm the all that whatever bullshit that they claim that this thing supposedly says. But that's the point. It never fucking happens. And it will never happen. You want to know why? Because it ain't there. Ain't nothing there. That's why they have this dissension. That's why they have this schism. That's why they have this breaking apart. Because none of them know what the hell they're talking about. This is sci-fi fantasy. None of this shit is actually real. Despite the fact that there are 1.4 billion Catholics, not a single Catholic can demonstrate their Catholic crap. The only Catholic crap that they demonstrate on a constant basis is their ability to rape children at a rapid rate. No, that's one thing that Catholics are super duper hyper efficient about. Hyper efficient. I just told you that they had to pay fucking $400 million. $400 million to the people they've been raping for decades in San Francisco. This news just dropped 2 days ago when we were live. So, I don't understand it. I just don't understand why people are out here caping for these fucking losers. For what? For what? What does any of this crap accomplish? What the fuck do Catholics, what the hell do Christians of any kind accomplish at all? Like, this is where we're at in modern time. That we got a bunch of Star Wars fans fighting against a bunch of Star Trek fans and acting like this makes any goddamn sense. And by the way, I'm not talking about actual Star Wars and Star Trek fans. I'm sorry to even disrespect y'all like that, because at least y'all are sensible enough to know that y'all are fans of a fantasy fiction. A sci-fi fantasy fiction. Y'all know, y'all understand that this is fantasy. That's why we don't hear stories of Star Wars fans bombing other countries, because they heard a voice tell them that Luke Skywalker said that y'all were supposed to do it because they represent the Empire, or whatever retarded shit these theists be thinking about. I can't believe that we live in a time where people actually think like that and think that that's rational as fuck, and they'll fight me to death over that shit. Will fight me, will kill me. Will kill me. If this was 100, 200 years ago and I was saying half this stuff, they would have burnt me at the stake and had a fucking field day. This is how psychopathic these fucking loonies are. They will fight and murder and kill for their sci-fi fantasy bullshit and act like somehow that helps the world or some shit. Savage behavior. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm disgusted. I'm seriously disgusted, bro. Because it never stops. We live in the modern age. It's literally 2026 and these people still think in these fucking like first century ways. We're in the 21st century, but people still think like it's the first century. And they will fight you despite the fact that zero. I mean, that's what's so crazy. That's why I came up with the ultimate rage paradox, I call it. How is it that you can have billions of people over the course of thousands of years subscribe to some ridiculous ideology, yet a big fat zero of them, I mean literally not one time, not one single theist one time can show us that there is a supernatural, super intelligent, super thing anywhere. Anywhere. Why is that? What is that? I don't get it. That's why I'm fucking stuck. How is it that these organizations are able to convince so many people of the same old bullshit? Why do so many people still accept it and believe it? For what? It's maddening to me. Because it just doesn't end. It just doesn't end. Like, it baffles me that so many people fight tooth and nail to protect these sci-fi fantasy loonies. Even my fellow atheists will fight me against them. I was just suspended in an atheist group today on Facebook. I don't even know what it was that I said that they suspended me for. But the point is, I don't have anything positive to say about theism at all. You will never hear me giving theism props for any reason. Because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Because what they do? What they do that was so fucking great. Now this is all I see. This is the type of shit I see. Wave of clergy abuse lawsuits expected as legal window opens. See, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. On Wednesday, July 1st, the first wave of what may be a tsunami of clergy sex abuse lawsuits against the Catholic Church will hit Rhode Island Superior Court. And July 1st is just the first day in the 2-year revival window the General Assembly created for long ago victims to file civil claims against their abusers and the institutions that failed to protect them, which until recently were barred by statutes of limitations and other legal restrictions. Before the day is out, the filings may come in from law firms in a number of states, and the targets may extend well beyond the Diocese of Providence's realm to public and private schools, camps, athletic coaches, hospital, doctors' offices, and beyond. If the ubiquitous client seeking on social media are any indication, look. Fam, how could this happen? If the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is so real and so true, how can a story like this even remotely exist? How could institutions, what does it say? How could institutions fail to protect people, their own people, in Christianity? How could the institution fail? Don't they have the Lord? Isn't the Lord omnipresent? So that means the Lord was right there when those children were getting raped, huh? But see, here's the thing that's so crazy to me. I got this thing called the Constitution of the United States of America. This is where I find it so funny that I don't hear Christians talking about that freedom of religion bullshit when it comes to this. Because look, this is one of the things I always love to show y'all about the Constitution. What it says in the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Y'all see that, right? So, I always cite this because both of those things are diametrically opposed to each other. Because it says both it won't respect the religion, but then it will respect the religion. But what I find so funny, all these loonies out here like to talk about how the First Amendment grants religious freedom. Right? If that's the case, why don't I hear Christians fighting against this? All of a sudden, they quiet on that freedom of religion, aren't they? Because Christians are clever. They know that would be bad, horrendously bad press if they actually tried to do that. Because they know that's not a fight that they can win no matter what. The Lord and Savior Jesus Christ ain't going to back them on that one. I tell you that. But it perfectly directly applies. If the First Amendment grants religion freedom, then this isn't failing to protect the children, because it would be the freedom of their religion. The Lord said that they could rape children, so therefore they should be allowed to rape children, right? That's what they're trying to say. That's the First Amendment. When priests and pastors and bishops and cardinals and all those fucking weirdos get caught raping children and they get arrested and brought up on charges, doesn't that violate the First Amendment? Doesn't that violate the prohibiting the free exercise thereof? If your religion is a rape culture, and that's what the Lord said, then why would they stop you from raping children? Why do we have laws to prevent you from raping children free willy-nilly? Shouldn't we just allow you to rape children all fucking day? Because that's what y'all do. You can try to talk like you don't, but this is a story from today. They had to make a law specifically stopping you from having freedom of religion, because if we gave you freedom, you would rape children all day, every single day. This law is actually a way too late, because this shit goes back decades. This shit goes back decades. That's why we need law enforcement, because the Lord is a bitch ass failure. The Lord doesn't stop none of this shit. Would never stop any of this shit. Has never stopped any of this shit. Which is why we need law enforcement, which is why we need laws. So basically, the First Amendment could never give you freedom of religion. It can't, by definition. Because, see, religion is not real. Religion is not true. Religion is not rooted in reality. Because if it were, then we wouldn't need to have these laws. Because we would just have the Lord. The Lord would be the law. If the Lord saith that thou shalt rape, how can we argue against the Lord? The only problem is the Lord doesn't seem to be anywhere to be found. The Lord seems like he can't be reached for comment. I got an APB out on the Lord, and not a single Christian can seem to present me with the current whereabouts of the Lord. It's like they're keeping his location the super duper super secret. And they keep trying to tell me that I need to go find the motherfucker, but they already know where the fuck he is, supposedly. So what the fuck is the disconnect? What's up with this discrepancy? Why is it that they can't understand that I'm trying to find the Lord and that I shouldn't have to go through this super duper search? If you already have the information, why don't you just share it? Why don't you just share his whereabouts? Look, I'm not going to fucking tell anybody. I'm not going to fucking give away his location. I'm not going to tell the guys over on the fucking south side that they need to go over here so we can all kidnap and beat them up. Okay? We just want to talk to the dude. That's all. We just want to have a conversation. That's all. That's all we want to do, man. Why y'all trying to stop us from having a conversation? I just want to talk to the Lord, man. That's it. That's it. Actual adult conversation. Man to God. Man to God. Me being the God, of course, because whatever y'all be talking about, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know where it is. So, check it out. So if we continue on with this story, it says, close to home, law firm DeKoff, Mega, and Quinn was heading to court Wednesday with an initial batch of around 30 of the over 100 cases the Providence-based law firm plans to file, according to partner Mark DeKoff. DeKoff said alleged victims had come to them years earlier asking if they had the right to sue. Because of the statute of limitations, he explained, they weren't able to sue then, but he knew a law may be enacted that will open the door for a lawsuit later. They retained us in the hope of someday being able to file, he said. In addition to the bishop, a phrase that encompasses many decades of church higher-ups within the nonprofit corporation known as the Diocese of Providence, the defendants include at least 4 living priests: Francis Stantilli, James Silva, Kevin Fassett, and John Petroselli. They were each named in the scathing report Attorney General Peter Narana issued in March on the lengths the Catholic Church went to hide decades of abuse of at least 300 Rhode Island children. The defendants also include the St. Aloysius Home in Greenville, a diocesan-run residential facility, an orphanage for abused and neglected boys that was closed in January 1994 following a flood of sexual and physical abuse allegations. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Like, when I talk about their penchant for rape, I'm not joking. I don't say that shit to be an asshole. I don't say that shit to be mean. I'm literally being accurate. If anything, I'm being nice. If anything, I'm being nice by just saying, oh, this is just rape. Because this is institutional. This is evil. This is the quintessential definition of evil. Motherfuckers who masquerade as the super duper truth, who masquerade as, oh, they have the best ideas, and literally they are the evil ones doing the rape, right? I covered the story the other day that the homegirl Ice, shout out to my homegirl Ice, you know, on the previous live I was doing before we got shut down, she mentioned something about the gospel gun, because there was apparently this viral video of this priest that made a skit about shooting the devil or some shit like that. And it's like, fam, I don't know about you. Maybe I'm blind or something. You know, maybe that's why I wear glasses. I've never seen the devil. And all of these stories that I see, I don't see a devil anywhere. I see a bunch of fucking Catholics. I see a bunch of fucking Protestants. I see a bunch of fucking Muslims. I see a bunch of fucking theists engaging in this behavior. I don't see a supernatural super thing was spotted raping a child and they had to get the Ghostbusters to go and fucking shoot it down so that they could capture it and then take it to court and bring it up on charges. I've never seen that happen. Not one time. Not one singular time. I mean, I seen it in the movie. In the movie The Ghostbusters. I saw it in the Ghostbusters, but I didn't see it in real life. I didn't see it in real time. I didn't see anybody with a gospel gun shooting anything other than their shot at raping children and them succeeding greatly. To the extent that they gotta fucking have stories like this written, that they have to have laws like this passed, that they have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars a pop for the amount of fucking rape they have engaged in for decades. And I'm the one looked at like I'm the evil, terrible, super terrible, evil person. It is baffling. I'm evil because I call it out, but that's exactly how brainwashed they have gotten people. This is exactly how this shit is allowed to persist on a constant basis. They have people so fucking bamboozled that they will protect the predators and attack the whistleblowers and the victims. Like, it's absolutely crazy to me. It's crazy. That's why I do this, because I've been trying to warn people all over the world. Look, this is not it, fam. This is every day. Every day around the world. Every day around the fucking world. This isn't just an American thing. This is a worldwide pandemic, okay? And this is a pandemic that has lasted longer than any fucking pandemic that ever existed. Because these fuckers, these literal fuckers, I mean actual fuckers, I mean, they're more than fuckers. They're rapists. These rapists and rape apologists and rape protectors are everywhere. Okay? All these people are so caught up in the Epstein case. And look, the Epstein case is a super case because obviously it's a bunch of fucking well-to-do, fucking prominent people, public figures, very prominent people, people who are well-liked, people who have been very accomplished, people who have large fan bases, who, you know, appeared in classic movies or made beautiful fucking songs. Look, Michael Jackson is my favorite artist in the fucking world, but he did that. He did that, bro. I can't fucking deny the fact, yo, he did that. Because ain't no grown man putting himself in that situation. I don't give a fuck. Especially after the first time that he got accused. Ain't no way, bro. I'm sorry. Like, no normal person, even if we granted him the first time, how does the second time happen? How? Like, how are the people around him even allowing him to be in a situation where that could happen? But that's exactly how it happens. People are enablers. People are enablers. They always enable other people's bad habits. We see it all the time, right? I was watching this video the other day on this channel on YouTube, and he was talking about, like, oh, all these, like, shows on TLC that were controversial, and of course one of them was about my 600-pound life and shit like that. And there was a story where, you know, this one woman, she was, you know, in this rundown apartment, but she was married and her husband was always constantly giving her the food that she wanted and doing all that stuff. And that's how it happens. That's how somebody ends up fucked up. Not just because they have this horrible habit, but because the people around them encourage it, or at least they fail to discourage it. They fail to try to curb it. They fail to say, hey, nah, put that down. No, he gotta stay over there. We gotta stay over here. Remember the first time? Remember the fucking PR nightmare that was? We're never gonna fucking live that down. But you're gonna put us in this situation again? I can't allow you to do that. I'm sorry. I know you love the kids, my dude. And even if it was all on the up and up, even if I could grant you that it was on the up and up, it's the mere fact that you would put yourself in that situation again anyway. I don't care, fam. I don't care. Especially as a grown-ass man. Because, look, I love kids. I absolutely, positively love kids. When I be on social media, I'm not even gonna lie. I be on social media, I be looking at some of these cute old babies, and they're so cute. But I'm not trying to bring these motherfuckers to my room so they can sleep in my bed with me. Even Even if I could, even if every woman in the world, even if every parent in the world was like, hey, here's my cute little baby, you can have my baby overnight. Fam, what the fuck is you talking about? What are we doing? I'm a grown ass man. I'm not even trying, like, no. I mean, look, I'll babysit if you really need me to, but I'm just saying, like, as a grown-ass man, that's not something I'm looking to do. So the fact that he was looking to do that, I'm sorry, bro. Like, that's what predators do. That's the type of stuff that predators do. That they go through a situation like that and they put themselves in that type of situation again. I know because I watch a lot of To Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen. You know, To Catch a Predator, or his new show, True Blue. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally what they do. They get caught, and multiple motherfuckers have gotten caught again the same way, doing the same thing. It's bad enough the first time. That's already bad enough, because a normal person should never get caught anytime. Right? But we do live in the world. To be fair, we do live in a world where people will make false accusations. We understand that false accusations occur. But it's only so many times that false accusations are going to occur until we start to see a pattern. Because why is it that so many other people don't have this happen? Right? You ain't the only superstar in the fucking world. We got all kinds of superstars who don't have these kind of fucking scandals. And that's not to say that they're not guilty, but at the very least, they're not getting caught. At the very least, they're not being so reckless that they're getting caught. So the point is, typically, people who get caught up on shit like that are people who are on that type of time. Because people who aren't on that type of time, 9 times out of 10, they don't get caught up on shit like that. Going out of their way to put themselves in the position to where this type of shit would happen. So that's why I am so anti-theist, because I'm trying to warn people, particularly theists, that this community is not helpful at all. These communities are where you and your kids are at the most danger. That's why I show y'all all the time this website. And mind you, this is a Christian-based website. This is a website made by Christians for Christians. Okay? It's called notinourchurch.com. And I read this all the time just to show you. It says right here, our mission is to help churches become unattractive environments for predatory abusers by putting awareness, prevention, and healing resources in one place. We do the research and share the resources. Well, guess what? It's ineffective. At least in terms of that goal. They're not helping at all. What they're doing is they're helping me. They're helping me highlight how disgusting that they are as an organization, as an institution. They are such a piece of shit institution. They're such a piece of shit industry that their own members have to create their own sites to try to highlight the rape that is rampant in their community. This is a resource for me. This is a resource for anti-theists, because this is not a resource for theists. This is not a resource for Christians. There is no Christian church that is going to this website that's even aware of this website. And even if they were aware of the website, they would not utilize this website because they don't give a fuck about becoming unattractive environments for predatory abusers. That's why they are the attractive environments for predatory abusers. That's the point! That's the point of the fucking community! That's what they do! That's why there are so many predators among y'all all the time. That's why there are so many predators in your community. Because your community attracts them for that reason. Because your shit is bullshit. Your shit is not some shit that helps society in any tangible, meaningful way. That's why you can't explain to me what y'all actually do that's so wonderful that it warrants this fucking institution to continually exist. This rape shit, that's the shit that continuously exists as a result of y'all. Now, this isn't to say that this shit doesn't happen anywhere else, that this shit doesn't happen in secular communities, because I can tell you, of course it happens in secular communities, but it clearly happens a lot less. It happens so little that when I look up atheist rape, Christians come up. And we demonstrated that yesterday. I literally put atheists in quotes so that we specifically would target atheists who engage in rape. And all we found was religious, and most of it was Christian. We found some other humong crazy shit. Some dude in California who got like 200 years for raping kids. No, raping women. I mean, they might have been kids too. I don't fucking know. You know these fucking weirdos. The fact of the matter is, fam, websites like notinourchurch.com do not help Christians. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to you, lady who created this website. Your website does not work for your purpose. The church is not safe and will never be safe because it was not meant to be safe. That's why loonies like Dylan Roof will come in there and shoot y'all the fuck up. Because that's what they fucking do. And your Jesus is nowhere to be found. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't say this shit because I hate you. I say this shit because I love you. Even though I call you names, even though I'm rude, even though I'm mean, even though I say shit like, oh, y'all retarded, y'all say retarded stuff. I don't say that to single y'all out because this is a societal thing. I will be the first to say we are all retarded. We all got psychological disorders. We all have microplastics and forever chemicals crossing our blood-brain barrier, affecting our cognitive processes. I mean, what does it even mean to be sane? I don't even know. I call myself the ultimate rage because I got anger issues. Okay? I know I'm retarded. But at least when I'm not angry, or even, I should say at least when I'm not irrationally angry, I'm typically a very, very sound and valid individual. But the fact of the matter is that clergy abuse, and it's not just clergy, let me be clear about that. This is not specifically a Catholic thing. Catholics, because they're the biggest denomination of Christianity, and because they have such vast wealth, they get represented the most. But as we always show, these stories happen every day in every denomination. Okay? None of these denominations are exempt from the same type of bullshit. This shit happens every day, fam. It never ends, it never stops, because the fact of the matter is, there is no God. There isn't one. And I'm tired of the bullshit arguments by theists who think that they can play word games or mind games or logic games or act like they're gonna fucking word play their way to proving the Lord. Well, can you prove it's not real? Yes. Y'all have had thousands of years and you have zero. Y'all wouldn't even know where to begin to even try to demonstrate your fucking claims. So why don't you give it a fucking rest? Because you're not going to do it without the scientific method. Unless you have a scientifically valid way of demonstrating this sci-fi fantasy crap that y'all been pursuing and purporting this whole time, you're never gonna convince us of anything. You're not gonna fucking emotion your way to convincing me. You're not gonna say it passionately and say it and say it and say it and repeatedly say it and repeat it and increase your volume saying it, thinking that somehow that's going to convince me anymore. No. Because at the end of the day, you still didn't show me shit other than your ability to get loud. Which, okay, that's cool, you can get loud. But at the end of the day, you still have nothing. So your loudness was for naught. It was for nothing. Because I ain't ask you, can you get loud? But if you got that loud, But no, I ain't ask you about nothing loud. I'm asking you to show me the Lord. If the Lord is so real, why don't you get loud? Well, no, don't get loud. Why don't you get the Lord so the Lord can be loud? And the Lord can be loud and booming, and we can all hear the Lord's voice, and then we don't have to have any fucking fucking understanding about anything. No, that's not what we see, is it? No, this is the type of shit that we see. This is the type of shit that we see on a regular basis. Ex-Christian high school teacher pleads guilty to guess what? Guess fucking what? And look at this shit. This was last week, fam. Yeah, this is one of the stories that we missed from last week. You know, because we didn't do it live all last week, or the past 2 weeks. A former teacher at Christian High School in El Cajon pleaded guilty this week to sex abuse charges involving an underage girl and is slated to be sentenced next month to 20 years to life in state prison. Kevin Conover, 50, was arrested last year following an investigation into reports that he had abused a minor identified in court only as Jane Doe. Sheriff's investigators were first alerted to the allegations last October and he was arrested December 16th. According to the San Diego County Sheriff's Office, Conover pleaded guilty to 5 felony sex crime counts on Wednesday, one day before he was slated to undergo a preliminary hearing in the case in which prosecutors would have presented evidence to support the charges. Isn't that crazy? And I love that last part. Prosecutors would have presented evidence to support the charges. Isn't it crazy that Christians can never do that to support their charges, their claims that the supernatural, super intelligent, super thing is watching, that there's the super thing and he's always doing this. And if you don't believe him, you're not gonna like it because you're gonna go to the terrible, horrible, terrible place. And then, but then when I ask you, where's the terrible, horrible, terrible place? Y'all don't know. When I ask you, where's the super happy-go-lucky, super place? Y'all don't know. If I ask you where, if this is your belief, that where's the purgatory is at? Y'all don't know. You know why? Because it's not there anywhere. It doesn't exist. It only exists in your fucking book. That's it. I don't even really think it exists there. These are fabrications. These are baseless claims. These are theological fucking bullshit ideology nonsense. What I call tart talk. It's just a bunch of tart talk. Because at the end of the day, there's none of this shit, and zero of you can demonstrate any of this shit. But prosecutors can demonstrate when y'all rape kids, though. And they always have evidence of this. There's never-ending evidence of this. Like I said, this shit is every single fucking day. Every single fucking day. It doesn't fucking stop. Oh my God, look at this shit. I thought that was the end of the article. He originally faced up to 111 years to life in state prison if convicted of all counts and allegations. The criminal complaint filed against him alleged the abuse occurred between 2015 and 2019, with the first instance of abuse occurring when the victim was 7 years old. Fam. I forgot. Here's the last. The victim was not a student of Conover's, according to a statement released last year by Christian Unified Schools and San Diego superintendent. Like, does that matter? Why does that matter? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why does that matter? If anything, if you ask me, the only reason that matters is because if he's raping students that aren't his students, what about the people, the children, who were his students? Because it always tends in these cases, ain't just one victim. This is an institutional problem. This is a problem of the Christian community. Like I said, this is every day. We didn't do a live for the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That means that there are mounting stories that I hadn't covered. There's all kind of stories I haven't even talked about because the shit happens so fucking much. Matter of fact, check this out. See, now I'm doing the search for the past month, and now I just found the story from 2 weeks ago, which would be the first week that I wasn't doing the live. But guess what? I found another story, and trust me, there's a lot more stories, because there's always a lot of these fucking stories all the fucking time. Look at that, in the top left corner. New Orleans clergy abuse. Isn't that fucking crazy? It says right here, and note the date, June the 15th. So literally 2 weeks ago. Catholic Church had been alerted to Texas pre-sexual predation for years, but dawdled before acting. Yeah, and it gets hot in the summertime, by the way. I don't know if y'all know this, but during the wintertime, it gets super duper chilly. Yeah. Yeah, it rains in the Amazon, y'all. I don't know if y'all know this. But yeah, in the Amazon forest, it, like, rains sometimes. Like, fam. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is never ending. We will always find stories. I will never run out of content as long as Christians continue to rape. But see, unlike other fucking communities and creators, I don't like that. Because, see, here's my thing, right? And, I feel kind of weird about it. Because, of course, on one hand, considering how many predators there are out here, I don't have a problem with motherfuckers catching their ass. But it just feels weird to see motherfuckers creating a business out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're literally building a brand of catching predators. But you need predators for your brand to exist. See, me, even if Christians weren't rapists at all, they're still wrong because they can't demonstrate their claims. And I would always attack that no matter what. And I will attack that no matter what. I highlight this rape shit because I think that combined with the fact that they have nothing, it just demonstrates not only how much of a scam they are, but how evil they are. And how they love to pretend like they're such wonderful, good people. But if they're so wonderful and good, then why would they fight me? Why would they fight me? I can't even talk to Christians about this shit because they will get aggressive and hostile. That was the word I was looking for earlier. I'm very hostile to theism because they would get hostile with me. See, the reason why I don't just let people believe what they want to believe is because why would I want to let children get hurt like this? And what kind of fucking piece of shit are you that you would allow children to be hurt like this? That you want to believe in your crazy shit so fucking bad that you would allow your own kids or even yourself to get hurt because you want to believe this crap so bad. And then what does this crap actually do for you? That's the thing I really don't understand. What does it actually do for you? What is the tangible benefit that you gain from this sci-fi fantasy craziness that warrants your child potentially getting raped and traumatized for the rest of their fucking life? And why is it that I'm treated like the worst person in the world for being hyper direct about that, for being straight up like abrasive about it, for being rude about it, for being direct, straight up in your face about it? I cannot believe that we live in a society that if it was just some random guy, they would be so ready to lynch this guy. They want to fucking throw him in the fucking goddamn ocean of fucking acid. But when it comes to the religious institutions, all of a sudden, ain't nothing. No one. I'm talking about billions of dollars being spent in restitution for child rape for decades. Imagine if they found out the atheist community of Austin was engaging in this type of behavior. Man, I swear to God, they'd have the motherfucking National Guard, the fucking ATF, the FBI, the CIA. They would get the whole fucking intelligence community. They would get the fucking whole entire military to swoop in on these, they get ice on these motherfuckers. There'd be RICO fucking raids and shit. Motherfuckers would be brought up all kinds of fucking big boy number charges and shit. Motherfuckers would be going to jail. It'd be plea deals all over the place. All kinds of motherfucking high profile testimonies. The news would be on every front page motherfucking article on every news media outlet every day. I'm talking about right smack dab front page atheists group. Rape kids, brought up on charges, seeking asylum, choosing to cooperate with law enforcement, planning to turn state's evidence, all that type of shit. Every media outlet on I'm talking ABC, CBS, CNBC, MSNBC, ABC, fucking CNN, fucking Fox News, the Blaze, they all of them, every single one of them would be so quick to talk about us evil, terrible, horrible atheists and anti-theists. The Christian church does it on a mass scale around the world to hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of kids for decades, centuries. And nothing, I repeat, nothing. We just saw on all these news media outlets, despite the fact that every single major news media company of note, they all covered the stories. NBC, ABC, CNN, Fox News, all of them, they all covered the stories. Every single one of them has an article about these stories. Every time there's a settlement, they all cover the stories. But those stories are never, ever publicized. They never fucking have any articles on their front page about it. They never talk about it on any TV news segments. When I'm looking on fucking Google News, nowhere to be found. If I go to YouTube's fucking news section, nowhere to be found right now. We could literally go look right now and you won't see nothing about it. You won't see nothing about the 400 million in San Francisco 2 days ago. Either do that type of shit. That doesn't even remotely interest me. I like women who actually like me, who actually want me. It doesn't give me any pleasure to try to attract a woman or to force myself on a woman who doesn't want it from me. To me, that's like the shit that would blow my fucking high. Trying to make a move on the chick and she's not fucking with it. I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I can't even comprehend that there are people out here that will not take no. Comprehend that there are people out here that will not take no for an answer, and that there are people out here that will see that and will be totally fine and won't answer, and that there are people out here that will see that and will be totally fine and won't say shit. It's actually crazy. So check it out. Let me just go into this story a little bit, alright? Catholic Church had been alerted to Texas priest sexual predation for years, but dawdled before acting. Church officials had extended the temporary term of Anthony Odiong, recently convicted of sexual assault, even after women came forward with allegations of abuse. Internal Catholic Church files obtained by The Guardian revealed that clergy members wanted to quadruple what was supposed to be a temporary 3-year role as pastor at a suburban New Orleans church for a priest who had nearly a half a dozen women accusing him of sexual misconduct or unwanted advances while ministering to them. Anthony Odiong was meant to be at the St. Anthony of Padua Church in Lowling, Louisiana from 2015 to 2018 when, toward the end of that time frame, his supervisors extended his stint by 3 years despite a series of misconduct complaints, including one that ultimately sent him to prison for life in June. By 2021, his superiors moved to prolong his stint another 6 years until 2027, despite having spoken to a woman who had come forward to accuse Odiong of an abusive, years-long sexual relationship. She was at least the 5th female congregant who had claimed enduring misconduct by Odiong after meeting him in his capacity as a priest. You have served with fidelity and dedication, New Orleans Archbishop at the time, Gregory Amen, wrote to Odiong while forwarding him that 6-year extension. Thank you for the faithful way in which you continue to carry out the ministry of Jesus Christ today. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what they consider carrying out the ministry of Jesus Christ. Raping a bunch of people. Abusing women. And this is another reason why I have a major problem with this community, with this with these organizations, with this industry. Because going back to not in our church, I always show y'all this every single time. Because I need you to understand that I'm not saying this shit just to be a little meanie. I'm not just saying this shit because I want to make you mad. This is a Christian website that was made for you Christians to help you. To inform you of the environment that you put yourselves in. So, it says right here, according to the late A.W. Richard Sipe, the sexual exploitation of women by priests is not uncommon. Other researchers have argued that misconduct by clerics toward women is even more prevalent than their sexual abuse of children. According to research cited in When Pastors Pray, a publication of the World Council of Churches, 90 to 95% of victims of clergy sexual exploitation are women. This book also cites a 1984 survey of clergy in various Protestant denominations. Mind you, it says Protestant, not Catholic, Protestant. Clergy in various Protestant denominations that found that 39% admitted to having sexual contact with the congregant and 12.7% had sexual intercourse with the congregant. And then this is my favorite part, or should I say my least favorite part, however you want to describe it. There are studies that demonstrate that the faith community is even more vulnerable to abuse than secular environments. The Abel and Harlow study revealed that 93% of sex offenders describe themselves as religious, and that this category of offender may be the most dangerous. Other studies have found that sexual abusers within faith communities have more victims and younger victims. Alright? And honestly, I think this is the reason why I was suspended in that weak ass atheist group on Facebook, because remember I said the other day I had a debate with a fucking bitch ass atheist who was trying to argue in favor of, oh well, it can happen anywhere, don't paint a broad brush. But I'm like, fam, but I'm showing you the data point that literally shows, it literally says the faith community is even more vulnerable to abuse. So, miss me with this fucking, it could happen anywhere. Yeah, it could happen anywhere, but it happens there the most. The data shows it. It's not just research. I literally show you these stories every day. I literally attempted to intentionally look up atheist stories. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that atheists aren't capable of rape. As an atheist, an anti-theist, I will be the first to tell you, yes, there are rapist pieces of shit among the atheist and anti-theist community. And I would never ever fucking even think to even try to deny that. And if I ever found out that a fellow atheist and anti-theist was a rapist, I would condemn them openly and publicly. I would ridicule the living fuck out that piece of shit, and I wouldn't have any problem telling that bitch ass fucking clown, you a bitch ass fucking clown, you piece of shit. You do not represent us. We are not with that type of time. We are people who don't want any of that in our community. And I can tell you right now, as a human being who is creating my own community, I would never stand for that shit in my community ever. If anybody ever came to me and said somebody and so and such and such was even thinking about trying to do some shit, I'm slapping the shit out of motherfuckers. There's gonna be some consequences and repercussions for the piece of shit engaging in that behavior. I don't care who you are. You can be my best friend, you can be my brother, you can be my mom, you can be my cousin, you can be my sister, you can be my uncle, you can be my auntie, you can be whoever the fuck. Fuck you if that's the shit that you do. And that's the hard stance. It's all about principles, but people care more about their loyalty to the person than the principle of being a good fucking person. We see stories all the time, all the fucking, I just showed this story that I was just showing you. This story I was just showing you. It's par for the course. We see this shit happen all the time. I'm going to show you again. It says Catholic Church have been alerted to Texas pre-sexual predation for years, but dawdled before acting. That's what they do. That's what they always do. It always happens all of the fucking time. Every single time. 100% of the time. That's what happens. Well, okay, I won't say 100% of the time, but the point is, it happens a lot among them. There are certain times when motherfuckers will do the right thing and say, nah, get the fuck out. But the point is that they are communities that allow this shit to happen because they want to believe their sci-fi fantasy lunacy so fucking bad they will overlook human decency. And it happens all the time. That's why I say all the time that America's the scam capital, the capital of the world. They have scammed so many fucking people to believe that they are the good people, and that people like me who call out their rapey antisocial behavior, they act like I'm the fucking bad guy. But I'll take the fucking label. I'll be that for y'all. I'll take on that label if it means that I saved a child from being raped by you weirdo pieces of shit. Because I don't understand how you could possibly think that you have any kind of moral code when this is par for the course every day. That y'all are cool with having a community attached to this every day. That somebody like me could put y'all on blast every day and cover story after story after story after story like these every day. And that there's so many fucking stories that we can't even cover them all because there's so many. Right? Like, check this, right? It's the last story I'm going to talk about today, and I'm going to get the fuck off of here. Alright, so this was June 2nd. Check this out. It literally says, I'm trying to see if this is a video, it's not. Girl 6 claims sex assault at Ritzy Christian School, but Academy sues her parents with absurd explanation. I can't wait to see it. Oh yeah, and I saw that story too. Grandma suspected of fatally poisoning daughter, grandkids remembered in Stone Cold 2-line obituary. Yep. I saw that. Like, I think it was like 5 kids or some shit. It was a murder-suicide. Unreal. Where was the Lord, by the way? We'll never know. A traumatized 6-year-old Florida girl claims she was repeatedly sexually assaulted by another student at her ultra-expensive private Christian school. But see, the posh academy kicked her out and slapped the youngster's family with a ruthless lawsuit because, of course, they're so morally superior to everybody, right? They have the greatest moral code in the fucking world, right? The kindergartner's parents sued Creation Village World School in celebration. That's such a pretentious ass fucking name. Oh my god, I hate this fucking shit. Whew. The kindergartner's parents sued Creation Village World School in celebration for failing to protect their daughter, who was kissed and molested over a 2-year period behind the playground pirate ship structure during recess, according to the shocking complaint obtained by the Post. The suit filed in March claimed the alleged abuse by another student left the young victim with recurring urinary tract infections, grueling headaches and stomach aches, and unwilling to attend $14,000 a year school. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, that's what I'm saying, bruh. Like, that shit disgusts me. Oh, I'm so disgusted every time I see this type of shit. This is why I get so fucking angry. This is why I'm the ultimate rage, y'all. Because I can't understand how y'all aren't anywhere near as angry as me. I don't get it. How am I the only one? How am I the only person on earth that seems to give a fuck? All these billion-dollar multimedia organizations, all these huge influencers that have all these motherfucking platforms, even the predator catchers, I would think that if Chris Hansen wanted to really step up his brand, he would go after these fucking weirdos. He doesn't. Despite all the news stories of this shit happening every day, despite all of the major settlements that have occurred as a result of this sickening antisocial behavior, we never ever see any action going against the greatest rapists of all time, the Christians. This is what they do. And instead of actually protecting the victims, they victimize the victims. So now the victims get doubly victimized. And the problems don't fucking... Oh, God. Oh, God. Now check this. Oh, I'm so sickened. When the girl eventually told her parents about what was causing the infections, her distressed parents brought their concerns to the school in November, and of course, the next month their daughter was expelled and the family was hit with a countersuit in May. The ritzy school accused the girl's parents of weaponizing quote-unquote false and misleading claims, wildly arguing that any sexual contact between the students was only accidental and that the accused child lacks the developmental capacity to sexually molest. Yo, fam. Yeah, I'm disgusted. I saw a stat one time that said that 40% of child sexual abuse against, well, it's child sexual abuse. 40% of child sexual abuse is caused by other kids. 40%. 40%. How could they ever say some shit like that? How could anyone, how could any institution have the nerve to fucking even think to say some crazy shit like that? And then look at this. They go on to say the school further claimed the victim's parents were guilty of neglect, stressing they failed to teach her proper hygiene and bathroom habits, which caused the child's persistent urinary tract infections, according to the suit. The private school also said the allegations tarnished its reputation and subjected it to public humiliation. Now, one thing I will agree with, and I know a lot of y'all might disagree with me, I don't care. I actually agree with the school on this one claim that the parents are guilty of neglect. I agree. The parents are guilty as fuck because it's the 21st century. These stories are every day. Every day we talk about shit every day, and you put your children at the worst place they could be, in a Christian environment, in a religious environment where they are more likely to be violated than anywhere else. As far as I'm concerned, that is gross negligence. That is gross negligence. That's neglect. Because at this point, y'all can't, see, and this is what's so sickening to me, man. This is what's so sickening. Because, see, this is why it's so hard for me to not, like, victim blame. Because I am hyper aware of the mainstream media's, at this point, it's a conspiracy. And I'm calling it right now. This isn't even, like, a theory, or I should say a hypothesis. This is straight up a fact at this point. All mainstream media, all these major news media outlets, all these social media companies, I'm talking about all of them. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, fucking TikTok, all of them. All the major mainstream media, ABC, NBC, CBS, fucking Fox News, MSNBC, NPR, all of them. They are working together to protect religious institutions at every single possible fucking turn. They absolutely do not want to put these religious criminals on blast because that's what they do. Yeah, facts, cuz. Facts, cuz. That's what it is. So that's why I get so disgusted. You know what I'm saying? Look. And I'm about to get off here real quick. I'm on NPR. All right. Mind you, 2 days ago, the San Francisco story I told you about. Now, NPR, maybe NPR might actually have it. But I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling, y'all. I'm scrolling. I don't see it. I don't see it. We got the World Cup, Medicare, rent, funerals, kids with autism, Supreme Court, London, LeBron James, RFK. Are you seeing a pattern here? Mind you, $395 million settlement in San Francisco. Oh, there it goes. Oh, there it go. At least NPR has it. We had to scroll down very far, but NPR has it. NPR has it. It's at the bottom. It's at the fucking bottom, but it's here. You just have to scroll very fucking far to find it. So NPR has it. And NPR is the only only major news media organization that actually has this on the main page, even though it's at the fucking bottom. But all the other news media outlets, none of them, not one of them has this story. Not one. We looked, NBC, ABC, CBS, even Fox News. I don't even like even clicking anything Fox News. I am diametrically opposed to the right wing. I don't even like giving them clicks. I don't even want to give them any shine at all. But for the one time I did it, and we couldn't find the story on there. And you won't ever find these kinds of stories. I mean, if you look for it, right, you'll find it if you do a search. A deep search. If you actually use the search feature and type it in, it may come up. It may come up. If you do a Google search, then you'll see it. But if you just go to their main site like this, you're not going to see it. And even on NPR, we had to scroll all the way fucking down. All the way down. There is a conspiracy among all the major intelligence agencies, news media companies, basically everything. Everything. There's just a conspiracy to protect these sci-fi fantasy fucking rapists. To shield people from being made aware of this stuff happening. So most people are completely clueless about the amount of rape that these rapists are constantly engaging in, and the fact that there have been literally billions of dollars in settlements just within the past 6 months. Let alone the past couple decades, but just within the last 6 months, okay? $395 million in San Francisco, $800 million in New York a couple months ago. That's already $1 billion right there, just with these two states. I mean, these two cities. Not even states, these two cities, because these states have multiple, both states, Cali and New York, have multiple cities with $100 million settlements, hundreds of millions of dollars of settlements per city. Yeah, you can see the arguments, but at the end of the day, where's the Lord? Where's the Lord to stop this? Where are the Christians who are up in arms over this? Why aren't they coming together as an organization, as you know, the Lord's people, to figure out how to protect the Lord's people? You know what I'm saying? Like I told you. Well, I didn't tell you, cuzzo. Yeah, it's always the separation of church and state, of course. But, no, actually, no, there's not. No, the church is the state. The state is the church. The state is literally representing the church. Look, check this out, cuzzo. I show this to people all the time. This is the type of shit that our president uses the official White House to do. That's what I'm talking about. Look at this. President Trump's top 100 victories for people of faith. All right. All this list. He established the historic White House Faith Office. He created Centers for Faith. He established the Religious Liberty Commission. He appointed leaders of all faiths to the Religious Liberty Commission. He established the task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias. He issued an executive order to combat anti-Semitism. He pardoned Christians and pro-life activists. He ordered the repeal of all regulations that violate religious liberty. Department of Justice supported religious charity, and on and on and on it goes. One thing you will not see on this list is, oh, by the way, we curbed the rampant rape that occurs in churches across America and across the world. Yet don't see any mention of that at all. Not one. Not one. You see ending taxpayer funding for abortion, quote unquote, valuing life and empowering women by like subjecting them to not being able to control their own bodies. Nothing about curbing rape at all. Nothing about curbing the rape in the military. They only talk about strengthening the military. Nothing about fucking giving reparations. Instead, they're ending DEI. They're not stopping the rape that occurs in all the churches, but he took decisive action through Operation Midnight Hammer to ensure Iran will never attain a nuclear weapon, even though there was already a deal in place that Obama had created to prevent Iran from attaining a nuclear weapon. Anyway, and mind you, I'm not an Obama fan at all. But yeah, yeah, the information is limited. That's why I have to show you the shit, because ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, CBS, Fox News, MSNBC, all the major news media outlets will not talk about any of this. Oh, and by the way, every time I talk about this story, I like to mention the fact that if you look at the date, it was September 8th, 2025. 2 days later, Super Christy Christian Charlie Kirk was murdered in front of everybody on TikTok. Where was the Jesus to protect his retarded ass? Yeah. It's the fusion of responsibility for real. So at the end of the day, this is what the fuck happens, man. This shit is nationwide, worldwide, and at the end of the day, people either don't know or they don't care. They don't know because the mainstream media isn't informing them, so they have this misconception that Christianity is super duper amazing. They're not being informed at all that these things are happening. You have to go out of your way to search for it. So of course, me being the anti-theist I am, I'm going to go out of my way to search for it. They're going to assume theists are going to assume I'm a terrible, horrible person because I have the nerve to bring it up. When I covered it on TikTok, doing the same thing I do right now, literally showing you articles such as this fucking weirdo piece of shit, this school that literally, look, a little girl raped at a Christian school, or should I say assaulted at a Christian school, but the academy sued her parents. The Christian school, they sued their parents. They didn't say, hey, we're actually going to get the Lord and we're going to fucking bring this piece of shit to justice. It was another kid, by the way. The Lord didn't say, hey, my kid, yo, what the fuck is that shit? Why you can't leave her alone, bro? You gotta be in my image, man. We don't do that touching girls shit. We don't touch anybody. We fucking actually, like, keep our hands to ourselves and we leave people alone. When they say no, we accept it and we move on. Find another kid to play. Oh, and don't touch their private parts at all. Yeah, that never happens, ever. It never happens and it never will happen, which is why these stories keep happening. And mind you, this wasn't some shit from fucking 100 years ago. This shit was a month ago. June 2nd, fam. June 2nd, 2026. And Christians act like their sci-fi fantasy bullshit is somehow helpful for some reason. Yeah, that's exactly what happens, fam. Because where's the Lord to protect these children? So, I'm finna get off here, because it just makes me so fucking mad that I feel like I'm the only person on earth that gives a fuck about this shit. Who cares about the well-being of the actual children? Because clearly the Christians don't. because this is happening every day, and they don't seem to be the least bit concerned. So all I'm gonna do is retreat to my fucking community in Discord. You can come through and join me if you care to do so. And other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. Holla back at your motherfucking boys. Stay smooth. Stop being bitch ass simps for these narco psychos, these psycho narcos, these narcissistic psychopaths, these psychopathic narcissists. Stand on your own. Stop being bitch ass simps for these people. Have some self-respect and some self-love. Stop giving these loonies every fucking thing. For what? Let's actually bring some sense to this crazy ass world once and for all, and get people to knock it off with this sci-fi fantasy crazy ass bullshit once and for all. Because it is a scam. It is